How do you spot a trend in time to build a $43 billion business out of it? Ask Lululemon founder Chip Wilson. He realised that yoga pants could be functional, comfortable, and fashionable, pioneering the athleisure industry in the process. But how did it all start, and how did Lululemon's activewear come to dominate the market? Join us as we break down Lululemon to find out its beginnings, early growth, and future plans. Lululemon is the brainchild of California-born, Calgary-raised Chip Wilson. At the age of 19, Wilson got a high-paying job working on the Alaskan oil pipeline. He earned about $100,000, equal to about $600,000 in today's money. This was enough to pay for his university education, a home, and start his first business. He called his first business West Beach Sports. After finishing his degree, Wilson worked full-time whilst getting West Beach off the ground. Now, this was at a time when short shorts were all the rage. So he struggled to sell his long, baggy, wild pattern shorts wholesalers. This forced Wilson to open his own store. But because he owned manufacturing and his store, he took triple the profits. This opened his eyes to vertical retailing. West Beach would morph into a skateboard company and then a snowboard company. Wilson finally sold it in 1997 for $1 million. With nothing to do, Wilson was taking it easy. Then in 1 week, he noticed 3 things that indicated to him yoga was a new trend. A poster on a telephone pole for yoga, 2 women talking about it, and an article in the newspaper. To find out more, Wilson took a yoga class, where he found himself the only guy in a room full of women. He realised yoga was going to be as big as surfing, snowboarding, and skateboarding. So he decided to create the best yoga clothing for this emerging market. Wilson had noticed that the women in his class were wearing cotton outfits. But cotton gets sweaty since it's not very breathable or elastic. So Wilson decided to make something more comfortable, fashionable, and athletic. Wilson chose the name Lululemon because he thought that a Japanese marketing firm wouldn't create a brand with the letter L, since that sound does not exist in Japanese phonetics. By including an L in the name, he thought Japanese consumers would find the name North American and authentic. In 1998, Wilson founded Lululemon. It operated out of a design studio that became a yoga studio at night to pay the rent. He relied on yoga instructors, who he asked to wear his products and give their feedback for his business's early success. Lululemon's first product was a pair of yoga pants. They were made from a mix of nylon and lycra synthetic elastic fibers. These were both soft and stretchy enough to be comfortable for intense yoga sessions. 2 years after launch, Wilson opened the first official Lululemon store in Vancouver, British Columbia. The idea was to create a community hub where one could discuss all aspects of healthy living. But the store became so busy, it became impossible to help customers with both sales and their lifestyles. By 2005, Lululemon had expanded to 15 stores in Canada, 3 in the United States, and 1 each in Australia and Japan. Its product range had also expanded to include tops, shorts, jackets, sweaters, yoga pants, and innerwear. It also included bags, water bottles, yoga mats, and hair accessories. It would also patent its first fabric, Luon, which had higher than usual levels of microfiber. Since then, it has gone on to develop several novel fabrics. These include Luxe Stream, a moisture-wicking stretch fabric, Nulux, a compression fabric, and Silverescent, Lululemon's stink-conquering technology. 2 years later, in July 2007, Lululemon went public, raising $327.6 million through the sale of 18.2 million shares. Wilson stepped down as CEO the following year with Christine Day replacing him. Over the years, Wilson has made several controversial statements. This includes mocking the way Japanese people pronounce his company's name, and saying that making clothes for plus-size women was too costly. He's also blamed piling in his clothes on people that weren't wearing his clothing correctly or didn't have the right body shape for them. Finally, in a 2013 interview with Bloomberg TV, Wilson said that some women's bodies weren't suitable for Lululemon's clothing.
Some women's bodies just actually don't work for it.
Remarks that Time magazine called fat shaming. Wilson resigned as chairman that December, resigning from the board in 2015. Since then, Lululemon has continued to grow. It acquired virtual exercise company Mirror in 2020. This was at a time when more people exercised at home rather than at the gym due to the pandemic. This growth has helped the company open over 520 stores worldwide. Of these, 315 are in the United States alone. Lululemon also sells its products via its website and mobile app. It also sells to wholesale customers like health clubs, fitness centers, and yoga studios to enhance its brand image. The company doesn't own or operate any manufacturing facilities. Instead, it relies on a group of approximately 40 vendors to manufacture its products. This has helped Lululemon generate $4.4 billion in revenue for the 2020 financial year. This is a 12-fold increase from its 2008 revenue of $353 million. Thanks to this, Lululemon has a market cap of $43 billion as of February 2022. Of its revenue, 70% comes from its women's category. The men's segment only accounts for 20%. For these reasons, Lululemon announced in 2019 that it would spend the next 5 years focused on doubling its men's business. This is bringing them into direct competition with brands like Nike and Under Armour. Lululemon has also made a commitment to sustainability with its Be Planet initiative. Through this, the company will work towards innovating sustainable materials, using less water, and decarbonising its value chain to protect the climate. Wilson identified yoga as a trend and a lack of suitable apparel for its early adopters. This helped him become a pioneer of the athleisure segment. In 2 short years, he grew Lululemon out of a design studio/yoga studio into its own physical location. 7 years later, he took the company public. Wilson's vision helped build one of the fastest growing athletics apparel brands. After parting ways with its at times controversial founder, Lululemon has continued to innovate and grow, introducing new fabrics and making strategic acquisitions. Looking to broaden its target market, only time will tell if it will be able to wrestle the men's segment away from its competitors. That's it for our breakdown of Lululemon. What do you think of this pioneering athleisure brand? Do you think they're worth what they charge? Which business do you want us to break down next? Let us know in the comments below.